If you have been sitting in your car before work or lying awake at home, suspecting that the toxic person in your life has a literal demonic assignment against you, I hate to admit it, but you are 100% right. Your gut isn't lying to you. That overwhelming confusion, that unexplainable dread, and that constant walking on eggshells isn't just a difficult relationship. It is a coordinated spiritual attack targeted directly at your peace. But realizing you are under a strategic attack shouldn't make you feel powerless. In fact, it is the exact moment you take your power back. There is a simple, precise way to identify this demonic attack and stop it right at its source. And to do that, we have to look directly at the legal authority you already hold. The Word of God in Luke 10:19 in the Amplified Version says, "Listen carefully. I have given you authority that you now possess, to tread on serpents and scorpions, and the ability, listen to this, the ability to exercise authority over all the power of the enemy, and nothing will in any way harm you." You possess the authority, but you cannot fight an enemy you refuse to see. Today, we are exposing the 5 undeniable signs that a toxic person is operating under a demonic assignment against you, and exactly how to use your God-given authority to shut it down at the source. Sign number 1 is the weaponization of confusion. Have you ever dealt with someone who is completely flawless in public? To everyone else, they are an absolute saint. If the general public could leave them a Yelp review, it would be 5 glowing stars, and they would probably win an Oscar for Best Performance in a Victim Role. But the moment you are alone with them, or the moment you hang up the phone, the act drops. The atmosphere in the room turns ice cold, and your spirit feels completely suffocated. You end up sitting there holding 2 completely conflicting realities, scratching your head and wondering, wait, am I the crazy one here? Did I just imagine that? That internal tug-of-war isn't an accident. It is a calculated spiritual smokescreen. The enemy uses their award-winning public behavior to blind you to the dagger they are holding behind their back in private. And because you have a good heart, you give them the benefit of the doubt. You swallow the confusion. But watch what happens next. It never just stays as one uncomfortable conversation. One passive-aggressive text message from them ruins your afternoon focus at work. You carry that heavy, distracted energy into your car, and you bring it right through the front door of your home, snapping at the people you actually love. That lingering frustration follows you into bed, stealing your sleep. You wake up exhausted, and because you are exhausted, your prayer life goes silent. Do you see the strategy? The enemy didn't have to attack your home or your faith directly. He just used one toxic person to push one tiny lever of confusion and watched as it tore down your entire peace. 1 Corinthians 14:33 tells us, "For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace." If a relationship consistently produces a thick fog of second-guessing, it does not have a heavenly origin, period. You must stop trying to logically figure out someone who is being used spiritually. Your authority here isn't to argue with them. Your authority is to recognize the fog, step out of it, and say, "I see the assignment, and I refuse to play the game." When your spiritual defenses are that low, and you are operating on pure exhaustion from all that second-guessing, you become an open target for the next phase of the assignment. This person knows exactly how drained you are, and they know exactly where your deepest insecurities are hidden. They won't attack you outright. No, they won't. Instead, they will quietly drop a passive-aggressive hint. They will deliberately step over a silent boundary. They will poke and needle you, keeping their own demeanor perfectly calm, just waiting for the pressure inside you to build. And eventually, because you are already running on empty. You snap. You raise your voice. You send that angry text. You finally lose your temper. The second you react, the trap shuts. Instantly, they become the victim. They look at you with wide, innocent eyes and say, "Why are you yelling at me? You are completely out of control." Do you see the manipulation? They secretly handed you the poison, and the moment you drank it, they pointed the finger at you. Now, instead of holding them accountable for what they did, you are the one apologizing. You spend the next 3 days sitting in guilt, repenting for your anger, feeling entirely disqualified from God's presence, while they walk away completely untouched. They didn't just steal your peace. They manipulated you into sabotaging your own spiritual confidence. Ephesians 4:27 warns us, "Give no opportunity to the devil." When you allow a toxic person to pull you out of your character, you hand the enemy the keys to your emotions. Your authority in this moment is absolute silence. When the bait is dangled, your greatest spiritual weapon is a terrifying, immovable peace that simply refuses to react. When you stop giving them the reaction they need, their assignment starves to death. Now look at where the chain reaction has brought you. You are exhausted from the constant fog of confusion. You are weighed down by the heavy guilt of constantly losing your temper and apologizing. So, what do you naturally do? You start to pull back. You retreat. You stop texting your friends back. You stop going to the people who usually give you wise counsel because you feel too embarrassed or too drained to explain what is happening behind closed doors. And that silent retreat is exactly what the enemy has been waiting for. Because once you are doubting your own mind, the assignment must ensure that no one else can step in and tell you the truth. And this is sign number 3, the severing of the lifelines. Suddenly, this person starts dropping quiet, subtle hints about your other relationships. They tell you that your family doesn't really understand you. They plant little seeds of doubt about your closest friends. Or worse, they go behind your back, playing the bruised victim to your own support system, painting you as the unstable one. Before you even realize what is happening, you look around and find yourself completely stranded on an island. It is just you and them. The enemy knows that a lone sheep is incredibly easy prey. By quietly severing your connections to the people who keep you grounded, the enemy ensures that the only voice speaking into your life is the one designed to destroy it. Ecclesiastes 4:12 reminds us, "Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken." Demonic assignments can only survive in the dark, isolated corners of your life. They require your silence to work. Your authority here is exposure. The moment you pick up the phone, swallow your pride, and tell a trusted, spiritually mature friend exactly what has been happening to you, the illusion shatters. When you refuse to stay isolated, you break the back of the assignment. If you are recognizing these patterns in your own life right now, your heart is probably beating a little faster. You are finally seeing the invisible strings, and that realization is heavy. But I need you to lean in closely for the last 2. Do not click away. Because the first 3 signs were just the setup. The confusion, the guilt, the isolation. They were all just tools. The enemy doesn't just want to exhaust you. He has one final, permanent goal. And if you do not recognize these last 2 signs, you leave the front door to your calling completely wide open. Now that you are cut off from your support system, you start to just accept this heavy, exhausting environment as your new normal. You learn to walk on eggshells, but then God steps in. You finally get that promotion at work. You experience a massive breakthrough in your prayer life. Or maybe, for the first time in months, you wake up and actually feel a genuine sense of peace and momentum. You take one step forward toward your purpose, but the very second your life starts to move in a positive direction, a sudden, unexplainable crisis erupts. And this is sign number 4, the hijacking of your breakthrough. Right when you are supposed to be celebrating or resting, this person suddenly manufactures a massive emergency. They pick an explosive argument over something completely trivial. They suddenly become a victim who urgently needs you to drop everything to rescue them. Or they give you a cold, punishing silence that drains all the joy out of the room. This is not a coincidence. A demonic assignment cannot stand the sight of your spiritual elevation. The moment you start climbing, the assignment acts like a gravitational pull, creating instant chaos to drag your focus away from what God is doing and force you to look back down into the dirt to manage their drama. In Nehemiah chapter 6, when Nehemiah was rebuilding the wall of Jerusalem, his enemies constantly tried to manufacture emergencies to get him to stop building and come down to their level. His response was his ultimate weapon. He said, "I am doing a great work, and I cannot come down." Your authority in this moment is the power of the unbroken boundary. When they manufacture a crisis to ruin your momentum, you must refuse to leave the wall. You do not owe their chaos your attention. Celebrate your blessing, protect your peace, and let their manufactured storm blow itself out while you keep building. But I am not going to just hand you a terrifying warning and leave you in the dark. Once we expose this final sign, I am going to show you exactly how to completely dismantle this entire assignment today. I am going to give you the exact, unapologetic steps to sever the tie, take your mind back, and walk away clean. You will not go to bed tonight feeling like a victim. You are going to sleep with absolute authority. After months of the suffocating confusion, the manufactured guilt, the isolation, and the constant sabotage of your joy, you finally reach the breaking point. But you don't fight back. You just get tired. You decide that fighting for your peace, your business, your ministry, or your family is just causing too much conflict. So you stop praying for that breakthrough. You shrink your personality down to make them comfortable. You put your God-given calling on a shelf simply because it is easier to surrender your purpose than to deal with their relentless drama. And right there, the enemy wins. A demonic assignment doesn't actually want to destroy you physically. It wants to exhaust you so completely that you voluntarily lay down your crown and walk away from your own destiny. The ultimate sign of a spiritual attack is not chaos. It is a creeping, heavy apathy, where you no longer care about the things God called you to do. But the enemy made one massive miscalculation. He let you watch this video. He let you see the blueprint. And now that you see the strings, you can cut them. Here is exactly how you dismantle this assignment right now. You do not explain yourself to them. A toxic person operating under a spiritual assignment will only use your explanation as new ammunition. You simply stop playing your role in their script. You remove their access to your emotions. You reinstate your boundaries with absolute, terrifying silence. Forgiveness is a command, but reconciliation is a privilege, and they have lost the privilege of your presence. You are not trapped. You have the authority to close this door and never look back. If you recognize these patterns and you are ready to evict this assignment from your life today, do not stay silent. I want you to go into the comments section right now and type, I am walking away. Type it as a final decision. Type it as a digital stake in the ground to claim your peace back today. And as you step into this new season of clarity, watch this next video on your screen to learn exactly how to rebuild the mental strength the enemy tried to steal.